I welcome you all to this webinar, a special session to give you insights about future career options, what kind of skills are needed for, say, time zone of 2030 onwards. My name is Apurva. I had this division. Along with me, we have Sachin Srivastav, sir. He also heads LM Global Studies Division. And yes, today's special guest, I would like to introduce you all to ANUJ JAIN. He has been LM Global Studies Division student. And currently, he's studying at UCSD, University of California, San Diego campus. And he is in touch with us. And today's focus shall be on ANUJ, wherein he will provide us inputs about the real insights about what kind of studies, what kind of co-curriculars, what kind of life he is living there at UCSD. He might give us insights about Indian education system vis-a-vis USS, about critical questions that students might have, you might have, as to know what exactly happens when you study your UG courses in US, about possibly part-time work that you can do, about research opportunities that you can avail, about job scenarios, about your future, about masters, whatever questions you have in mind, you can pose those questions in Q&A sections. We'll try our level best in this limited time to give answers to all the questions, or else we'll call you separately. We might also take help from Anuj in case he wishes to answer some of the questions. To start this session, we'll try and have the session as interactive as possible with Anuj, so that you get to know more about him, his credentials, his profile, what is he doing in US right now, etc., etc. To start with, I would request Anuj to introduce himself about what he is today, and then we move forward with the standard presentation of 10 minutes, and then we have a specific Q&A section wherein you will ask specific questions to Anuj or us, the both of us, and then we'll try and answer those questions in limited time frame. Anuj, all to you. I welcome you all to this session. Thank you for being with us.
Hello, Namaste, Jai Jain to everyone. I am ANUJ JAIN and I have been a student of AGSD since 3 or 4 years. And then it has been a great journey being in AGSD and now coming here at UCSD. Majorly, I have been interested in fields like earth sciences, computer science, mathematics, and then I have been participant in international and national Olympiads when I was in Kota. So one of my major achievement was being representing India at the International Earth Science Olympiad 2019, and then I won 3 medals there. And I've been participant in other maths and cyber competitions. And I'm finally here with the help of AGSD team.
Thank you. Thank you, Anuj, for a brief introduction. Of course, all the students want to know more about you in details. What have you done? What did you do to reach UCSD? What has been your journey like, etc., etc. But we'll try and cover those points later on during our presentation or after the presentation. I'll request Sachin sir to please head towards the presentation and give some kind of strong inputs on future careers and skills that are needed. Please.
Thank you very much, sir. Once again, I welcome you all in this webinar. And I'm just going to share my screen with you people. Just give me a minute. So today, we are going to discuss about this unconventional options, career options and study abroad. Both the things are somehow connected, correlated. Let's try to understand what these unconventional career options are and why they are needed. Why are we talking about unconventional career options? What's wrong with conventional career options? We already have thousands and thousands of options available here. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So why do we need to discuss unconventional careers when we have?
Yeah. Well, what's the need? So let's have a look at one study that I'm going to present here. ये एक study है ना, and this is basically done by one US firm, National Association of Colleges and Employers in USA. And it shows the attributes employers seek on a candidate's resume. And to your surprise, you can see that the first thing which is needed is problem solving skills. And the second one is ability to work in a team. Whereas when we talk about conventional setup, we are least bothered about soft skills. So see the list: ability to work in a team, strong work ethic, analytical quantitative skills. The next comes communication skills, leadership skills, then again comm skill, verbal, ability to take initiatives, you need to be detail oriented, and then comes technical skills. And even after that, flexibility, adaptability, right? And then later on, you find computer skills too low. You see, 54.9%. Organizational ability, strategic planning, friendly, outgoing personality, entrepreneurial skills, tactfulness, and creativity. See, in this whole list, if you see, you just find one, this computer skill, other one is technical skill, two skills, and quite lower. So what is more required? What these employers are seeking in you, that we need to understand. This is the present scenario. And in order to develop these skills, you need to move towards unconventional options. If you do not move towards them, surely future won't be yours. Right? So if you would like to have that bright future, that bright career, you need to understand the importance of unconventional methods or career options. Unconventional method of education also, right? Okay, here let's try to understand what's the difference between conventional versus progressive education system, and I'm sure that Anuj would be able to correlate here. If we talk about this conventional method, here we promote rote learning. Right, we believe more in cramming things. Even if you are preparing for IIT or medical examination, you need to cram out a lot of facts and figures. Right, you need to learn a lot of formulae, this and that, right? And then only you can move forward. Whereas if we talk about progressive education system, it's experiential, it's based on experiential learning system. If we talk about these exams for say SAT or AP exams, you would find formulae at the front page. You need not mug them up, right? Because they believe in applications. They just would like to know whether you are able to apply these things or not, right? So applications are more important there. Anuj, am I right?
Yes, sir, definitely. This is one of the key difference.
Okay, and another one is here in India, you studied up to 12th, and you know that you have to write set answers in exam, isn't it? When you appear for board exams, you have to write set answers, right? Okay, do you have the same system in UCSD?
No, we actually are encouraged to write like different answers, or they are also being graded more like they are more encouraged while being graded, and teachers want to see that students really learn the material by their own way.
Yeah, exactly. So this is another fundamental difference. Here you have to mug up those set answers, right? And whatever the prescribed book is there, you can just write the answer in with reference to that particular book only. Whereas if you move outside of India, you would find, or like even in India, if you talk about this progressive system, there are certain schools and colleges which are promoting this kind of education. So when we talk about this progressive system, they don't have predefined premise, right? They encourage you to develop your own answers, your own ways, right? Fix books to learn, sea of knowledge, right? Argue but can't disagree. This is again one more difference. Like here, you are allowed to argue, but you cannot afford to disagree with the teacher, right? Whereas there you can argue, reason, and disagree, right? Fixed subject choice. This is one more important thing. And create your own course. See, so when you move out, you can have the combination of the subjects which are not possible here in India. So say with the computer science, you cannot go for fine arts. Though you are extremely good at fine arts and you love computers, you cannot go with both the things here. But when it comes to progressive system, you are allowed to even design your own course, right? So you have that particular choice. And yearly exams to pass the grades, right? So one exam decides whether you are intelligent, whether you are you have some potential or not. In that 3 hours of examination, everything is decided. Your fate is sealed. Whereas this progressive system, it doesn't follow that method. It's continuous activity based assessment, right? So they assess you every time, right? It is in continuation. Anuj, do you have the same kind of system in UCSD, this continuous and activity
Yes,
based?
we do get grades for like every participation, every small assignment, or whatever we do in like daily routine. That is being part of our grades, and not only the final exam. It's just about 30 to 35% the
Okay.
final exam, and rest all is about the whole quarter or semester you do.
Okay, great. So even your daily activities are considered into this final assessment?
They do give some specific activities, maybe related to courses, maybe
Okay.
outside it,
Hmm.
but they are being graded and they are more genuine for grading on these, and they do give opportunity for to students to get involved. And like this is something you can call as free grades, but then you would learn a lot more while earning these grades.
Okay, I have
Do they promote individual learning or group learning? Tasks are group based or individual based?
No, they actually mentioned that if you can involve in group or you can find some partner. So we have something called as a Piazza. This is a portal where every student and teacher is there. Like this is kind of a WhatsApp group we make in India there. And then people do post that I'm looking for a partner and I have such capabilities. I want to do this. And then whatever students want to join, they join it and they work then collaboratively thereafter.
Okay, great. I have learned one of our students, and in fact, you know him, Lay, he's an MIT, and he told us that, in fact, he's graded for physical activities also.
Yes.
For say, he started swimming. So that swimming is also graded. So is it there in UCSD also?
Not specifically here, I would say, because swimming is part of MIT's
No, not
curriculum. Like
swimming,
it's an
but some physical activities.
requirement. But then, yeah, we need to do some physical activity that we get CCR credit for it. So, which is a great add in resume. But then it's not so mandatory as in MIT.
Okay, great. Now see, again, so we are moving on to the same point, only academic focus, whereas this progressive system focus at holistic development and then single test based college admission. And here it is holistic evaluation for admission to college, right? That we'll be discussing at later stage, right? Produce perfect skilled laborers. This is the stark reality, that this conventional method is just producing perfect skilled laborers. The system is incapable of producing leaders, right? So this is the worst part, I should say. Produced skilled human being, the biggest difference. Well, now
Sir, hold on for a moment. Hold on for a moment.
Yeah,
hold on
sure.
for a moment. I want to throw some kind of difficult terms to students.
Yeah.
So just talked about what kind of education needed so that we become kind of future ready. Sir, I just touched upon the key skills that are needed going forward, focusing on the part that technical skills are needed, but there are certain softer skills or personality skills that are more important than technical skills. Yes, future will be CS driven. Yes, it is true. But then more importantly, there are a lot of things, managerial skills will be in use. and a lot of problem solving, leadership, etc., will be in use. I'll just give you a glance of the students, might be the students and parents that they are attending right now. They might have heard a few terms which are kind of current jobs which are in demand for the next 4-5 years or 6-7 years. I'm talking of 6-7 years. That scenario might change a bit or a lot. For example, students or the parent might have heard about something called as blockchain developer, related to algorithm, related to cryptocurrency, something related to basic level per data analyst, data scientist, big data, analytics, something called as digital marketing, digital marketeer. These kind of terms did not exist 5 years, 10 years ago. Yeah. And then article cloud computing professionals are becoming kind of in demand. You must have heard of AI and ML experts. Everything is ML driven these days, right? And then something called as cybersecurity expert. All these things, all these kind of things somewhat require a touch with CS. Yes, but more than that, application of CS, becoming a manager is more important. So managerial term that you might not have heard right now. For example, there is something called as work from home. The term did not exist 1 year ago, 2 years ago. Nobody knew what was that. Only top 5%, 4% of organizations across the world had implemented work from home prior to COVID. COVID se pehle bhi thi, 4% of organizations across the world. Now, HR policies have changed. Work from home has now become a norm, right? So going forward, abhi shayad Google mein ho, possibly. I'll have to talk to my Google friends or Microsoft there. But yes, important pointer is that there is term called as, or a role called as work from home facilitator, जो अभी exist नहीं करती है. Next 5 years में this will become a key role. Once work from home becomes an essential ingredient of your job profile, somebody needs to monitor whether you are doing your work efficiently for 8 hours or not. So work from home facilitator, it's a managerial job. But yes, somebody will need to have those technical skills in the background, right? See, you might have heard of fitness counselors. They'll become more important. Or algorithm auditor, or somebody called data detective, or somebody who will, this is going to become very important in future. Somebody who works at the cross section of human and machines. So the term will be called as human and machines teaming manager. Somebody who kind of collaborates with humans and robots. उनके साथ जेलिंग करवाए ताकि काम एफिशिएंटली हो सके. ये सारे टर्म्स हैं या जॉब प्रोफाइल्स हैं या रोल्स हैं या करियर ऑप्शंस हैं, ये फ्यूचर की बात कर रहे हैं. 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. Just think about it. Will rotative learning work? Standard books learning will work? Or I'll move ahead. Or only a superficial or theoretical knowledge of machine learning will work? No. It will require a lot of problem solving, actual problem solving on ground. Which means you should know not only about Python and machine learning, but its applications in solving real life problems. Hence, problem solving must have become the top-notch kind of trend for the next 10 years. Sir, am I right, Sachin sir?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Top-notch skill, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So this is something that you all, as parents, as guardians, as students, need to think. Future में skills क्या आने वाली हैं? किस तरह की एजुकेशन हमें इसमें लेनी चाहिए, कौन सी स्किल्स हमें एक्वायर करनी चाहिए ताकि हमारा करियर जो है फ्यूचर प्रूफ हो जाए. I'll leave a thought on this. I want to think about it.
Yeah. In fact, sir, you have given a lot of information and food for thought. In fact, so that's great. Let's move forward. I would just like to take you through our results of previous years and this year. So this is about MIT. We have sent 7 students to MIT consecutively in 4 years. And then this year only we have sent 8 students to Oxford and Cambridge. This year only we applied to Cambridge. So this is Cambridge, University of Toronto, Canada, and NUS, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, UIUC, and this Ivy League, Harvard and UPenn. So in nutshell, we can say that we are covering almost all the continents, the world, wherever these topmost universities are. So whether it is US, Singapore, UK, Australia, Netherlands, means even you can talk about Europe. So we have been sending students to all these continents, except China and Russia, because we believe that these are not the right destination for the students from India. Right? Now, you might have the question like how to reach to these universities. That is the question. If we are talking about conventional education system and progressive education system, that's fine. But if we talk about options available, so in India, you won't find much of these options. Right now, some private universities are there, which have started working towards this kind of liberal education system. And like some of the universities which are quite good at research also, but again, options are quite limited. So like it is quite tough to get these options here in India, at least at this particular juncture of time. So if we talk about foreign universities, you might have that question, how can we target these foreign universities? What are the things that we need to do? So some of you might have in your mind that if you clear SAT with good scores, you'll be able to get into MIT. Right, Anuj? Initially, people have that kind of impression.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone starts from there only.
Yes. So initially, people have that kind of impression that if we clear these exams with good grades or good scores, we'll be into these top universities. But that's not the case with these top universities. That is where this holistic evaluation system is. Holistic evaluation system is all about, like, on one hand, they evaluate you on your academics and all that. On other hand, they would like to see the personality aspect, things that you have done beyond academics, right? So it is the combination of all these things. So the very first thing that you can begin with is find your interest, that we Indian seldom try to do, right? Even we have the students, or we find the students, those who after like completing their engineering or graduation or UG, they come to us and ask for the career options and or what next. अब मैंने engineering तो कर लिया है, अब आगे क्या करूं? What next? बताओ. Should I go for MBA or I should go for MTech, right? So the very important thing is find out your interest. And from here only your journey would start. Because foreign universities, as I have already mentioned, that they have this holistic evaluation system. So वो ये देखना चाहते हैं कि what kind of personality you have and whatever the things you are doing, whether those things are aligned with your personality or not, right? That is very important thing. So find your interest. कैसे पता करना है? There can be different things. There can be tools. There can be career guides. There can be the people around you who can help you to find it out, right? Next thing is work on academics and your profile, right? So academics, all of you work on your academics. In India, we don't have any problem with that. We all are academically focused people, right? But when it comes to profile building, we need to work towards that. हमें काम करना पड़ेगा कब? So basically, when we talk about these foreign universities, they look at your profile for last 3 years, right? So you should have good profile at least from 9th class onwards. So if you start it early, it will be better. Though they look at your profile from 9th class onwards, but there should have to be continuity. Means if you start it from 6th or 7th class, it's good. If you start it at 8th standard, it's good. Reason ये है कि जब आप 8th में कुछ start करेंगे, you will have some hole in 9th class, and then 10th it will be better, in 11th it will be far better, right? So that's why it's good to start early. though you can start in 9th standard, but even if you start in 10th and 11th, if you start it at later stage, then probably you would need more help from some experts, right? And then the last thing is identify universities. मैं चाहूंगा कि अपूर सर बताएंगे कि जो यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं वो कैसे आइडेंटिफाई हों, and especially when we target the identification of universities.
A lot of students have already started asking questions in Q&A section. I want to go to
Yes.
how do I do about it? I want to go to Harvard. क्या करूं? मैं अभी 11th क्लास में हूं, मैं क्या करूं? मुझे मेडिसिन करनी है, यूजी में मैं क्या करूं? बाहर करनी है. Lot of questions. We'll try and answer some of those questions right now here itself, and then if your queries are not solved right now, you all are requested to talk to our office and get clarity on whatever questions you have in mind. Okay, I'll start with as Sir has said, it's all about identifying your interest and passion, improving your profile. So based on above these 2 pointers, we start with identification of universities which are kind of fit with your profile at the time of application. See, there are different countries which have different kind of requirements for selection. So US is more holistic, UK is more academics driven, Singapore is academics driven, Canada follows US, kind of. And Australia is academics driven, mainly. That too, 10th and 12th mark sheet, etc. So for US, it's a combination of academics and non-academics. So based on your profile at the time of application, we decide along with parents and students a set of universities wherein they can apply. We'll have a combination of dream, reach, and safe universities. Dream can be Harvard, MIT kind of, and safe can be so that we can have 1 or 2 offers in hand. This list varies from student to student. There cannot be a generic list of universities wherein everybody is applying. No, we do not do that because every child is unique. Every child has a different profile, different requirements, different financial status, right? Many students are asking about scholarships also, expenses, etc. Anuj might give us inputs about UCSD or UC system per se. I'll give you a very brief inputs on. You will have to prove that you are unique, so unique that university is compelled to give you scholarship. The logic is simple. Why should a university give you, say, 1.5 crore scholarship? You have to prove yourself. You have to market yourself. Hence, it is recommended to build your profile from class 9th onwards, so that we'll have around 3 years, 3.5 years of good, solid profile when we apply. Even after that, there is no guarantee that you will get scholarship. Partial scholarship you might get. There are certain universities that do not give scholarships at all. And there are some universities which are called as need blind. And if they find you suitable for their kind of environment, university environment, they might give you full scholarship or 90% scholarship or 80% scholarship, etc. It all depends on what work you have done in the past 3 or 4 years in academics and non-academics, both. If you're targeting US, right? Medicine stream is different. We'll talk about it later on, or maybe you can talk to our office, call them and get clarity on what needs to be done for MBBS kind of stuff outside India, right? So identifying universities is done when we are in class 12 generally, or if you are a dropper. यहाँ की भाषा में बोलेंगे, if you are out of class 12, then also you can try your luck. You'll have to convince them why have you taken a specific gap year, right? You convince us, we follow. ठीक है. So university admission is done in class 12 around September के आसपास, right? And based on your profile and discussion with parents and students, this is how we do.
Yeah, sir, I would like to make one thing clear here to the students, especially because most of us or most of Indian students believe that this application process might start after they complete their 12th grade.
No.
But remember,
yes, very valid point.
Underline it. This application starts in 12th grade itself. So for say, if you are right now in 12th, then your application should have been completed in September, October, November.
Correct.
You know, that was basically the time when you should have applied. Now all the dates are gone. Now all the admissions are closed, right? So you cannot apply now. Now, still there are certain universities which allow you on rolling basis. That's an entirely different thing. But if you are serious, I should say contender, if you are quite serious about foreign education, you should apply in the beginning of your 12th class. So that has to be clear to you, right? Anuj, I think that you should also add something on these 3 points, right? Because most of the students would like to listen from you. How should a student start? When should start, right?
Yeah. So finding your interest may be something I was also not sure when I was in like grade 7th or 8th. But then I had an inclination towards maths and like solving problems using maths and computers. So I actually found later that our science was a field where I can apply these knowledge of science, maths, computation, and all together. So while preparing for Olympiads and all, I got interested in it. And that is why it played a key role in my admission process because it was something unique to me. Like in India, people really do these subjects. And then thus it was something unique. And now, yeah, I did work on my academics and profile quite earlier, but as I remember, Apoor sir said me when I came in like earlier stages that I'm sure about your academics, but please focus building on your non-academic profile. And that is when I started like volunteering in NGOs, maybe like tutoring high school students, doing some community service, doing religious activities, research projects, and these kind of stuff. I started really building upon it, and I realized that these play an important role in admissions because you have direct prompts about it, like what challenges you faced when you do something like that, or maybe how can you contribute to our community. So this is when your experience with volunteering and non-academic profile comes into a play, and it plays a really big role in your essays. And then identifying universities, I would say for particularly UCSD, I wasn't sure about UCSD. Like I wasn't planning to apply it, but then Sachin sir said me that it really fits uh, your interest, and then you should apply. So I really just followed him and then started exploring what options I can pursue here, and then I really found out that these universities are good for specifically my subject. And then, as you can see, there is Silicon Valley here. So you have computers, a very high computer science background, and then also the physical sciences. So identifying university is something related when you already have found out your interest, and then you're already halfway through your profile. So you can actually identify what universities would best fit myself.
Yes. Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
you have done some research also, something related to ocean.
Yeah, so as I said, there was some research I was involved in. I actually met with a professor in my training camp of Earth Sciences. He was from Physical Research Laboratory. And after getting back from the ISO event, I was learning Python. And then I thought that this would be a great tool to explore the data of oceans. So I contacted him because he was an oceanographer, and then I requested him that please involve me in some projects, and then I can do this for you. And then he guided me through what I can do. And then yes, I mentioned it in my application that I'm working on such project, and these are the results I have got till now. And so that was I think a good value addition, because here there is an institution called Scripps Institute of Oceanography in UCSD itself. So they might have saw me as a contributing member to their college, and like they saw me as a researcher. So this is something really helpful, like doing research when you are in high school. You can do anything small or big, but what matters is you develop problem solving skill while doing that, and you actually show that you can apply your knowledge there.
That becomes critical. Yes, very valid point. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Theoretical knowledge is not sufficient. Application of that knowledge is very, very important. Good.
Yes. Well, see, briefly, would like to tell you what we are doing actually at AGSD. So the very first thing that we are doing is improving your language and overall communication, working on your critical thinking skills, which is quite important. As Anuj has already said, leadership and teamwork that we are working on. We have some module perfectly designed for 9th and 10th standard students. And then we are working on EQ and SQ also. We are working, giving you work productivity improvement tools, comprehensive profile building guidance. This is something which is very, very crucial. So we work on one-on-one basis. We interact with each of our students, have complete SWOT analysis, and then we start working the profile. We suggest the activities as per individual profile. See, again, profile building, if I talk about, I would like to stress one particular point here. Like most of the students believe that profile building is something you just look at one's profile. For say, Anuj, if he tells you about his profile and if you start following his profile blindly, surely you are doing something wrong, something very, very wrong. Because universities are looking for unique profile first. The other thing, they would like to see what you are, not what you are following. So you are doing something wrong, and that's why it is very important to go for complete SWOT analysis. So what we do, we start with psychometric testing and we go for complete SWOT analysis, find out your strengths, weaknesses, everything, and then we start suggesting activities accordingly, right? So that's what this profile building is, and then preparing you for holistic evaluation system, जो कि वहाँ follow होने वाला है. And then lastly, identification of universities and your complete application, essays, SOPs, LORs, whatever the documents are required, we are helping you with all those documents, right? So it's just brief about AGSD. If you would like to know in detail about what we are doing, you can visit our website or you can connect with any of the team members. You have got our contacts. Now there's the time when we should talk to Anuj exclusively, who would share his experiences. And before that, we have something from Anuj himself. कुछ वीडियो क्लिप्स हैं जो अनुज ने हमारे साथ शेयर की हैं, and I would like to run those video clips here and you just have a look at them, है ना? देखें कि UCSD की लाइव जो है वो किस तरीके की है. Just give me a minute.
So now I have just entered the library. As you can see, there are, so now
I cannot see, sir.
Just a minute. I haven't shared it yet. Yeah. Now you can see it.
Yes.
Is it visible? Okay.
Now I have just entered the library. As you can see, there are directions for every department, and this is one of the most active floors in the library. And you can see there is a computer which says second floor, and it says very busy right here because it's 92% full. And then you have 8 floors. Basically, at the 8th floor, it's much more quiet and you're not allowed to talk or speak much. And if you want to collaborate or talk, you probably gonna sit in second or first floor. So let's go. This is the print station for everyone, and you can see there are groups, a big library with many desktops, and you can just access with the help of your student account, and it's all free. And you have chargers everywhere on the sofa and desktop also. And then you finally have a digital media lab where we create media, and you also have separate rooms where you can collaborate if you have some project. And this is at the end an Audrey's Cafe, as I showed in the directions earlier. So people
like to sit here for like long hours, maybe 4 or 5. So they do take a break and take coffee or maybe some breakfast items. So this was the library's second floor only.
One more clip is there. Means there are 3 to 4 clips, and we'll be
if I
sharing
missed
all.
it, there are treadmill.
We will be sharing all the clips. Something was missed in the first clip, so he shared it again. Just a minute.
And if I missed it, there are treadmills too inside the library.
Okay. One more clip is there.
So now I'm on the part of the campus which goes. This is the 6th college. It is one of the biggest buildings, maybe, with about thousands of residents, and you have a 6th market too here. And I'm going to show you next an auditorium where we have our classes in the middle of this college.
And now the next clip.
Classroom, right?
Yeah.
Hi.
This is about classroom.
So now I have come to a place called Genie. So this is an auditorium and one of the biggest lecture halls on the campus. And let's see how a classroom looks like here. So this is the auditorium. And I had my linear algebra class last quarter here. This is the projector. And generally we have a computer system or monitoring projector systems on the upper side of any hall.
And the last one.
Good videos.
Hi, so luckily I am here.
Just a minute. This one is last.
Hi, so luckily I am here today at Glider Port where we can see a good sunset. And actually I'm here for the physics experiment which they say you need to measure the time difference between the sunset at the point I am on the cliff and on the beach down there. So this was pretty interesting. We just used the data calculator and a projector for this. And you can see there are many people here. And you can actually glide here.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you, Anuj, for this virtual tour of UCSD. We'll see. Sir, I think this is the time when we should ask some question related to UCSD,
basic
right?
common questions that students have asked, or they might have.
Yeah, exactly. They would like to
kind
know
of,
from Anuj himself.
Yes. Okay. Anuj, tell us, how do you find the overall academic environment in USA in general, or UCSD in specific, as compared to India?
So as compared to India, this is more like flexible, diverse, and like focused on learning. So we generally do practical approach to our problems. And then US also considers you as not to be mature enough to have decided what you will do for next 20 years or so. So they want you to explore more, maybe intersections of 2 or more subjects, and then focus on that and like take it as your career. So I worked with many students in my physics labs, as I just showed, and then mostly they learned and collaborated while performing practicals.
Does that mean that you are also required to study some non-STEM subjects also in your first year?
Yes, we do require, there are some general requirements. So this includes maybe one or two history course, one of art courses,
Good.
some courses from economics, or
Great.
and then you have options of electives. Like you can decide whichever department you like, you can take those courses. It's just a requirement that you need to take course 3 or 4. So like I can take some courses from cognitive science maybe, or economics, as I said, management, or anything that counts for our units. But it's not that specific that you need to take this. It's more flexible, whatever you want to take, but it's just a basic requirement.
Okay,
Good.
great. To be more specific, can you elaborate something about the plus points of UC system? Because if we talk about University of California, this group of universities, right? So what are the positives of UC system?
So I would say UC system is famous for its research focus, and that is why we have like thousands of professors involved in research here, and then you can actually assist them and learn from them how to get involved in research or maybe industry. And so UCSD particularly has a whopping population of 42,000 undergraduates, and then since UCs are well integrated, they have also cross enrollment system where you can take some courses online from the other campuses. And then I would say UC is something well recognized in Silicon Valley and any other part of country, so that helps in career.
Okay, so you mean to say, is it easier to get into another UC from one? For say, if I get into Irvin and I would like to get into this UCB, will it be easier to get into UCB that way, or it will be like it won't matter whether you are in Irvin or Riverside, or you are into, for say, Purdue, or for say NYU? It is almost more or less same.
I would say UC itself has a transfer system for its own other colleges. So you apply for transfers mostly after 2 years. For specifically, I'm talking about Berkeley, UCLA, and UCSD. They take transfers starting from junior standing. And then other colleges do take transfers. So you can actually apply from like Purdue or you say NYU as a transfer applicant. I haven't, I cannot comment on the competitiveness for it, but then it is an option available to everyone.
Okay.
Yes, it has to be competitive, I'm sure.
Yes.
Everybody will otherwise want to move to UCB, right? Okay.
Yeah.
One important question that I would like to ask you, Anuj, are asking this question on chat or Q&A about expenses. A brief idea, not exact. If expenses are incurred when you want to study at UC system, say UCSD, year after that, rough idea, not the exact one. What is the total tuition fee for 1 year in INR, and what are the living expenses roughly? And how are you funding your studies? Did you get any scholarship, or you are paying from your own pocket? And adding to it, are your parents happy now?
Okay.
Just
So
give a brief idea about it to students. Yeah.
All right. So currently, my family is funding my studies because UC system doesn't really give scholarship for international students, but other universities do have it. But I would say UC particularly has included everything in this total fees. So the living expenses apart from this is very less as of now, like in my first year. So I'm living in the housing here. Then it includes everything: electricity, transportation cost throughout the city. I can travel anytime. I have bus passes and such things. And it includes tuition and fees. So it's approximately $60,000, which is equivalent to 45 lakhs in INR. for an year, but then this includes everything from tuition, housing, and all. You can like say the other expenses includes buying some books maybe for your courses. That's all I did for like past 6 months, like buying some essentials maybe, and then books. This is all. So I usually spent about maybe $100 to $200 per quarter on this, and that's it.
Anuj, if we talk about your background, so you belong to a place in MP, which is Harda, right?
Correct.
Okay, so from being that kind of place and dreaming about a foreign university, how difficult it was for you? What do you think, that anyone can dream of going to these foreign universities, or you believe that no, there are some fundamental hurdles and everyone cannot think of it?
I would say that you need a platform for it to like think about these universities. Obviously, there are hurdles for someone from a background of village or some small towns, but then you can actually get involved in community more being in these towns. So I would say it's dependent upon how you contribute to your community more. Being in like it's never that tough to be in a small town and not able to get access to resources. Now we see there are resources everywhere online, so I would say you can actually plan to do so. But if you are in small towns, you should actually plan earlier and then start early.
So students can dream big, right?
Yeah, students
They
can.
should dream big or they can dream big.
They
Okay,
should. They should.
one question is coming from audience. Are you doing any part-time job there?
Correct.
And how easy or tough it is to get a part-time job?
So part-time job, you can apply for it after 2 quarters, basically 6 months of being in US. So I have applied to some of the tutor positions. As I told, like I like tutoring. So I would likely be tutoring as a part-time soon. And then it's usually paid around $15 to $20 per hour. And then you can work up to 20 hours per week, so it can offset your some additional expenses or travel expenses, whatever you have. uh, it's not that significant, but yeah, it's always actually helpful to connect to the professors if you work under them, and so I likely will do that. You also have other opportunities like working in recreation gym or maybe restaurants, in library, or maybe instructional coach in sports, and all small jobs are also there, and then you are paid a good amount in that also. And it doesn't really take so much of time, like it is just about 20 hours per week, so you can say about 2 hours or 3 hours per day. So it's actually something for recreation for us, for a student, uh, to do in daily life to get fresh from the academics. So people do generally do some kind of job just for the interest or maybe earning here.
Okay. Can you give a ballpark figure, general? If, for example, the cost at UCSD is around 40 to 45 lakhs per year. To do as a student, I want to do some part-time work for whole year. Rough idea, without compromising on my studies, how much can I earn by working part-time, allowed legal? Rough
So
idea.
apart from, like, if you are working, like you can, I think, actually earn up to $10,000 in a year. But then you can also actually apply for research scholarships. So these are available to international students also. So you need some experience and contact professors, and if they really support you in your project, then you get some research scholarship which can be up to like $3,000 $4,000. So that is really helpful, and it's majorly done in second years and onwards. So that is a good point in UC where, as I said, is more research focused. So there are many programs where you can get involved in research or under a professor.
Anuj, I'm getting one more question. It's quite personal. Do you get
Okay.
homesick? How do you manage that?
So I don't, yeah, it's tough. Maybe you can say initially, but I really talk to my mother daily, kind of. And I do usually contact my cousins, do have chats with them and all. I think it's, of course, more difficult on the other part. Like back in India, they are missing me more than I, because I am involved in so much of activities here. Then I'm making friends, of course. So you can be it can be tough in initial time, but then I would say the environment here is so inclusive. Like the community here accepts international students as their own community, so they really don't practice any biasness, and that's why I would say it's a inclusive environment. So I didn't face any problem, and that's why I think I'm good here.
See, if you are moving out of India after class 12, you are bound to get nostalgic. I mean, sometime you will feel yes, yes, but then it's about building a great career. So you have
Mhm.
to move from house. Like
Yes. Yeah,
or in India,
definitely.
right?
That's
It's not a big deal. If, for example, your parents live in Madhya Pradesh and you go to Mumbai, same situation.
Mhm.
You'll have to call them.
Yes,
That's it. And
that's it. Yeah, that's actually same. Like even if I enrolled in IITs, then I would have been living far away from Harda. So that's not an issue majorly. Like it should be acceptable for everyone that you have to go out of home after a certain time. And then it's just that I'm in US. But then actually being in US, I tell my parents how is it been here, and like tell new things which I learn daily. And that's actually more interactive than what could have done in being IITs or some other colleges in India, because they know what it is there. But it's so different here that I do actually inform daily that I learned this thing, I did this mistake today, and then I realized I was wrong, and this kind of thing. So I actually I would say built a strong bond with my family now.
I know some of the participants are curious to know like how these top class universities in USA are different from IITs and the top institutes in India.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I would say the greatest advantage here is you can do double majors, or say you can minor in other subjects. So this is something unique here. Like as I am doing a double major, you can say, in maths, computer science, oceanography. So you have the option to explore diverse courses, subjects, and then they count as your credit. Even outside curriculum, you can participate in sports, maybe volunteering, taking part in clubs and organization. They also give you credits. So this is all part of your evaluation, and you can say it's an essential part of your profile out of college, and that is something unique here. In IITs, you generally just study for the first 2 or 3 years, and then you end up in a internship which is given by the college only. So here it is not like that. You actually start applying for any job or internship you like in the very first year. You can actually apply and learn what the industry really want, and then you can build up your profile, and then eventually land up in a good place in second or third year. So the process itself is different here. You use different portals. You actually officially contact people, industry, or maybe professor to work with them.
Okay, we are running out of time. Most probably, we can
we'll
extend
take
this.
two, three more questions.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, exactly. Two to three more questions, and we'll be closing it. Is people have
Okay.
started asking, "और कब तक चलेगी?" So let's go.
इसमें you have taken a major as CS or what, or maths, whatever.
Yes, it's a math computer science mixed course. Yeah, it's a major on both sides.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most important question that should be answered here on this platform is how does the campus placement system work at UCSD? how does that thing happen? Because students are eager to know कि कितने की नौकरी लगती है, क्या होता है, क्या गारंटी है नौकरी लगने की,
is it worth the investment? Is it worth the investment? In fact,
correct. So just enlighten us all on this.
Yeah.
So mostly,
क्या होता है system? Okay.
So mostly graduates from here, like about 70% do private jobs in industry, 20% or 25% move for the masters, and then 5% do some other stuff, maybe some part-time job in school and all. So I would say employment is high, on very high end, like you're likely to get an employment. And in most cases you get a good reimbursement. Like I have heard about it, like 70 to $80,000 is a common figure here if you are like just after graduation I'm talking. So if you compare it to India, in India it's about 18 lakhs per year when you just graduate, even if you're too good, except one or two which are actually which actually come here only. Those packages are from US. So except that, it's about 18 lakhs. And here you can say it's about 50 to 60 lakhs even from the start. And it gets a huge boost if you are working like quite well in the company in like 2 or 3 years. So you can actually repay the amount you have expended in like 3 or 4 years. And then it's now on your profile that you have graduated in UCSD or any other such university, and you have already secured a good job. So that is something I would say a great investment. It's up to you where you land in, but then I think it's worth doing bachelor's here.
Which means students can become practically loan free in 4 to 5 years of time. Loan was say huge, 1.5 to 2 crores. Students can try and repay that loan amount in 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5, yes.
And then start earning in dollars. I mean, in your pocket.
Yes.
Great. Yes, but then one has to be confident about his own capabilities.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely they need to keep working here. It's about all about hard work here. Like, and not only hard work, it's about how passionate you are about the subject and how well you contribute to the company you are in. So you keep working here, and it's not the patriarchal system here no longer. So it's just how individually you are capable.
Okay, Anuj, what kind of support do you receive from student community or community out there at UCSD as an international student, since you belong to India, right? So do you have some community, Indian community or international community that helps international students there?
So I have like many Indian friends here. About like 160 of them are from India only. And one or two of my suite mates are from India. So we do have many Indian population here, and especially in California, throughout the California, wherever I go, I find many Indians. And as per the spiritual thing is concerned, I have the Indian community in San Diego also, where I have where there is a temple. So I keep visiting it like on weekends. And then I interact with the people. They actually talk in Hindi, Tamil, or whatever languages you can think of. And then it's actually a very, as I said, an inclusive community here, because you find many people from diverse culture here, and then they embrace the interaction between everyone.
Great. Okay, sir.
Yes.
I suppose we should bind it now.
Yes.
And most probably we tried to answer almost all the questions. Some of you were asking about MBBS and all that. It's entirely different kind of thing. So for MBBS related queries, you can connect with us. We'll be helping you with that. In US, the system is entirely different. You cannot take direct admission into MBBS in US. Though in some other countries, the system is different. It's more like of India's. So like related some specific queries, if you have, you can connect with us. There's a number. You can visit our website. You'll get the things in details, right? Thank you, Anuj. Thank you very much for joining us.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
just for
Yes.
the record purpose.
Yes.
Before we close, I'll ask Anuj to wind up in last 1 minute. What has been the role of AGSD in your journey till date?
Yeah, so, yeah, that's an
because
important
other
part.
students are listening, they might want to know what AGSD has done, so that I mean they should gain some more clarity on this. Last minute, that's it.
Okay. So yeah, as I said, I was actually preparing for IIT JEE in Kota, and I was quite doing good in it. But then I never imagined that I will be here like until 1 year back. I don't have any knowledge about like Common App, UC Portal, etc. So I kept doing what I was told to. So AGSD not only helped me in getting into good college, but also uh, get a clear mindset of what I do with my interest. So even it was in phase of like huge growth, AGSD itself. I got personal attention, I would say, and I'm close enough to Sachin sir and Apur sir, and they keep guiding me now also, and scoldings also. And besides, yeah, I would really want to thank all my teachers, especially Rajneesh sir, Yashi ma'am, Antim ma'am, Surbhi ma'am, for making me capable of standing and guiding in front of you. To the whole team of AGSD, thanks.
Thank you Anuj, for being here. And students and parents, if you have any other questions that are unanswered till now, contact our office. Numbers are being circulated right now on Q&A and chat also. Please note this number and get your clarification done as soon as possible.
Yeah, you can get these numbers even through our website.
Yeah.
They're available. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Good night. All the best for your applications.
Yes.